Since the first legal casino opened in Nebraska, there are now 4, including one in Omaha. The casinos came with a promise of more tax revenue and a promise to help problem gamblers. But as KETV News Watch 7's Bill Shammert investigates, the money expected and the money coming in are far different numbers.
Nebraska's spin on casino-provided tax relief is still in its early stages. The wheel's been in motion for 2 years, so far paying back more than $33 million to the state.
We're really excited. We're getting a lot of customers through the door.
Lynn McNally, CEO of the Nebraska Horsemen, has been part of the casino effort since the very beginning.
November 3rd of 2020, burned into my brain.
That's when voters took a gamble, 65% voting to approve racetrack casinos in the state.
Crazy 100?
Part of the deal, 20% of casino revenue goes back to the taxpayers. Most goes to property tax relief, some to cities and counties, and 2.5% to the Nebraska Problem Gamblers Assistance Fund.
There is a very small percentage of people that have a problem. We want them to get help, but we do not want to see them in our facility.
These maps show where they are.
David Geyer is the director of Nebraska's Problem Gambler Assistance Program.
I'm just a bureaucrat, but I really enjoy it.
He's a one-man department.
Started when they were teenagers.
And a diligent data collector.
We've had about a 40% increase in the number of individuals who are seeking help.
Nebraska lawmakers require the state to pay for that help.
If government is going to get money from people for engaging in this activity, government should also be ready to help, because everybody knows people will get in trouble.
According to the latest annual report, that's about 300 people a month getting counseling.
I would say that now 1/4 of my clientele are gambling, and that has never been true before.
Carly Spring is a licensed mental health therapist in Omaha specializing in addiction.
Lying is always a big red flag. I am denying it to myself and to others.
As for the average gambling debt reported by Nebraskans trying to get help, about $29,000.
A lot of people simply don't have the means at this time because they've already filed for bankruptcy or they are way over their head in gambling debt. So it is very important that there's a fund set up to help.
But David Geyer's data shows a problem with that fund. Comparing the last 2 years, expenditures, most of which go to paying therapists, have nearly doubled, now topping $3 million. But the revenue coming in is $500,000 behind. What kind of a position does that put you in?
It's been a real squeeze, as a matter of fact.
A squeeze to the point Geyer says he's had to tell therapists to hold off on booking appointments because the state doesn't have the money to pay them. It comes as Nebraska also increased its contract with therapists, now paying $185 an hour.
We have to pay them enough to make it worth their while to do this at all.
Also not helping, the 2 years it took after voters approved gambling to open the first casino and start collecting that tax revenue.
Without rules and regulations, you cannot issue gaming licenses. So that took a very, very long time. By the time those were finally approved, the world economy collapsed.
McNally says Warhorse is trying to do its part. KETV Investigates found casinos have paid in about $827,000 in tax revenue to the problem gambling program so far. But Geyer says that's less than half of what they expected to see by now.
And is the state doing enough right now to help these people?
Well, let's say we're doing all we can. I don't know what's ever enough.
David Geyer does have a partial solution, but it'll take the support of lawmakers. He plans to propose changing the percentages of tax revenue and bumping the assistance program from 2.5% to 3%. He says that 0.5% could generate another $200,000 to help problem gamblers next year. Bill Shammert, KETV News Watch 7.